the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans.
There you go.
Forgot to unmute me. To the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, June 8th, show number 284. Scott Hammer and Ron Miller coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter from the John Young Racing for First Responders, Dave Kemmer studio. And tonight on the show, Bryan Sebetto will be joining us here in just a little bit. Also, Ron Miller making his first public appearance, I'm guessing, since going under the knife a couple days ago.
Yeah, early Tuesday morning.
You brought a little extra stuff with you,
Yeah, I did.
Everything's good, though, right?
That's what he said. He said it went well. So,
all right.
I'm still planning on racing early August.
And did you tell your doctor about that, or he doesn't need to know?
What?
Okay, good point. We have some window stickers, courtesy of DCR Graphics. Here, let's turn off our studio cam for a second here so you can see this. I don't even know if... There we go. Now you can see it. We're going to give one away tonight, and then another one next week. A nice little window sticker, Hammer Down Racing Report logo. All you have to do is, and this is only for our live listeners this week.
Right.
But just go ahead and type in hashtag HammerDown in the comments. Don't do it yet. Hold on. I got to actually click on this thing here to start collecting them. There we go. So type in hashtag HammerDown in the comments anytime before we do the drawing, which we'll do toward the end of the show. And you can win a free window sticker courtesy of DCR Graphics. And if you don't win, you can always buy them. They're just $5. He'll mail them to you. He had a whole bunch of them he had at the track last week. So if you see him at the track, he pits down at Oakshade, if you're going to Oakshade, in his late model down at the south end of the track, pretty much the furthest south end, right in the middle between turns 1 and 2.
Okay.
Just look for the black and yellow number 8 car, and you can meet him there. You don't even have to call him ahead of time, but you can and get some of those tickets. I think we talked to a few people. They were asking where he was because they saw me carrying that back on Saturday.
Where is he?
Exactly. It's like, where'd you get those? So hopefully they found him. So we'll keep that up there for the Hammer Down the comments for a...
Sure. And that's
for most of the show.
That's Facebook and YouTube, correct?
Facebook and YouTube, yeah. If you're checking us out on Twitter, that won't work on Twitter. You have to do it on Facebook or YouTube. So you have plenty of time to switch over before we do the drawing here tonight. Got to mention Big D's Pizza in Clyde. Give him a call. Oh, speaking of which, John,
I did.
He dropped off some Big D's last Sunday.
I did.
Yeah, he went. John Young, winner. He's won in the past, of course. He also not only just goes there to get his own pizza. He showed me the back of his truck. He was like 5 pizzas
brings back
high
pizza
with like 3 wide, and it was like, what the hell? So he's definitely supporting our sponsor, and we appreciate that. I'm sure that Dean does as well.
Big D's Pizza has a delivery guy.
They do. If you need Big D's in Toledo, call John Young.
There you go.
He might be able to help you out. But call Big D's in Clyde, 419-547-1444. You can order online at orderBigD'sPizza.com. Their Sunday special, again, a large 3-topping pizza for just $9.99. Big D's in Clyde. And follow them on Facebook because they periodically put up different specials that they have there. Big D's in Clyde, big on taste, not on price. And, of course, John Young is their unofficial Toledo pizza delivery guy.
That's right.
I mean, I think they're looking for actual delivery people
in the Clyde area.
In the Clyde area, yeah, for their actual delivery area. DCR Graphics, they do full wraps starting at just $350. They also do things a lot cheaper than that, little stickers like these for $5. You need some decals for your car, some numbers, whatever. He can do those as well. Sprint cars, late models, modifieds, whatever. Any kind of car, they can do it. You can check out DCR Graphics at 419, or I'm sorry, you can check them out at facebook.com/DCR Graphics. I think I just saw he's got some stickers on Brad Eichenauer's late model that he just got done. So that's pretty cool. Or you can call Dale, 419-308. Call or text Dale, I should say, 419-308-9523. Which reminds me, we got to get that going there. Dominator Race Products. They're back as a sponsor once again. Check out the classic-looking Killer Z nose. That's that old-style 70s Camaro nose. It looks pretty sweet. Very pointy.
Yeah. Aerodynamic.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
And
guaranteed a half a second.
Also, make sure to check out the Dominator Outlaw nose kit for asphalt super late models, too.
Right.
Pretty cool stuff there. You can check out all out at DominatorRaceProducts.com, or you can get Dominator Race Products from your local reputable race shop, such as Ron Miller Race Cars, or call them direct, 419-923-6970.
Yeah, I might be one winging it, Scott, but I can still answer the phone, and I can take orders, and I can collect money.
Wow, you are multi-talented.
I really am.
Other sponsors include Free Stream Photos, Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, and Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon.
Racing Roundup.
So we did have quite a bit of racing action this past weekend. Attica Raceway Park was in action Friday night. Cap Henry picking up another
What a surprise.
feature win. Actually, not just there, he also picked up his third in a row at Fremont. So,
Right.
I mean, he's been getting it done. AFCS 410 action, and then Rusty Schlenk picking up the win Friday night at Attica in the late models. And Bryan Sebetto, our guest tonight, won the AFCS 305 feature. Also, Friday night, Lima Land, it was Jared Clay picking up the Thunderstock makeup race from May 15th. Or 19th, I'm sorry, May 19th. Thomas Meserol won the Great Lakes traditional sprint feature event. Raleigh Hayter, the Dirt Track Truck Series. Shane O'Connor was the winner in the UMP Modifieds. And the regularly scheduled Thunderstock Keys Memorial was halted after 2 laps when the power went out.
Yeah, somebody turned the light switch off.
Yeah, from what I heard, I guess there was an accident somewhere in the area.
Yeah.
They hit a main transformer and took
Did you
the power
happen to
out.
see
Gabe Mueller's,
video? Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had some in-car video. He's racing, and then all of a sudden,
Try going 80 miles an hour down
His
the
eyes were
expressway
closed.
and close your eyes.
yeah, scary. That's like one of my worst fears of that happening. But yeah, no headlights on race cars. Well, not our race cars.
Yeah.
Flat Rock Speedway Saturday night. Greg Rudzik was the Great Lakes Legend Series winner. Jeff Metapetigan was the Street Stock A main winner.
Yay.
No, I was just yaying that I
Oh,
said his
yeah,
name
you
right.
did well.
Yeah, Chuck Pankow was a Street Stock B main winner, and Brad Turner, the winner in the Enduro there. Oakshade Raceway on Saturday night. Carter Murday picking up his very first late model
And looked
feature
very
win.
dominating doing
Yeah,
this,
he did.
Scott.
Even with the caution, nobody could.
Yeah,
I mean, Devin Shields had nothing for him.
He drove away.
Yeah. Josh Robertson picked up the Sportsman win. Adam Lance, the Dominator Superstocks. Corey Gum, another compact win for him. Dan Schaefer won the Superstock. Almost said Street Stock. The Superstock B main, and Josh Beaver won the compact B main. Mentioned Fremont Speedway Cap Henry picking up his third 410 feature win in a row. Bryan Sebetto made it a clean sweep of the weekend. It's 305, another feature win for him. Yep. And another feature win for Dave Gumby Jr. in the dirt trucks, second of the year.
Pretty amazing.
In a Ron Miller race car truck.
Yeah, we're starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
Just repeat winners.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Butler Motor Speedway on Saturday. It was Jason Blond picking up the win in the 410 sprints. Robbie Henderson in the modifieds. Tavin Kyle in the street stocks, and Brannon Kipp in the 4 cylinders. Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series action Friday night, West Virginia Motor Speedway. Ricky Thornton Jr. picking up another win. He's been pretty good this year. Saturday night, rain hit after the heats at West Virginia Motor Speedway, forcing the postponement of the finale to a later date, and then they decided at a little bit later date that they were just going to cancel the whole thing. So it will not be made up.
Ooh.
Bad track conditions,
Yeah.
I guess, was part of the issue there. Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions. It's just about Ohio Sprint Speed Week.
It is.
You realize that? This past Friday night, Gib Weiser Classic at Dodge County Fairgrounds. That was won by Corey Eliason. And then Saturday night at the Plymouth Dirt Track, Rico Abreu picking up a feature win there. World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, Friday night, River City Speedway. David Gravel picking up the win. Saturday at Ogilvy Raceway, Carson Macedo picking up the win. I think I saw Carson Macedo's atop, like, the sprint car rankings nationally now.
Yeah.
World of Outlaw, Case Construction Late Models Thursday night, last Thursday night, I should say, at Farmer City. Bobby Pierce picking up the win there. Tri-City Speedway, it was Kyle Bronson. Saturday at Paducah International Raceway, Brian Shirley picking up the win. NASCAR action this past weekend. Truck Series action, Grant Enfinger won the Toyota 200 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He's actually going to be running the Cup this weekend. Details on that coming up. Xfinity Series also on Saturday, but they were out west at Portland International Raceway for the Pacific Office Automation 147. Cole Custer picking up the win there. A little bit of headlock in the pits afterwards. Jeb Burton and I forget who else. I think it was a crew member of one of the other guys had Jeb Burton in a headlock.
Have at it, boys.
Yeah. And then Cup action on Sunday, the Enjoy Illinois 300 presented by Ticket Smarter at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis there. Kyle Busch picking up the win. IndyCar Series at Detroit Grand Prix. Alex Palou, I guess, criticized the course at up there in Detroit, the new street course, and won.
Didn't like it, but
now he might like it a little better.
Walked away with a big check.
USAC NOS Energy Drink Sprint, National Midget Series action Monday night at Circle City Raceway. Buddy Kofoid picking up a win there, and we have some breaking Buddy Kofoid news tonight coming up in a little bit. High Limit action, High Limit Sprint Car Series Tuesday at Eagle Speedway was Kyle Larson picking up, was that his third win in a row? I think at his third High Limit win, $28,000 plus for winning that. Like, he needs more money.
Taking his own money.
Yes, I think that's how that goes. How about we give our guest a call here?
Yeah.
We'll get Bryan Sebetto on the horn here. We're a couple minutes late. Yeah. So Bryan Sebetto had a great weekend this past weekend, picking up wins at Attica and Fremont Speedway. So Friday, Saturday, clean sweep. We'll find out what his plans are for the rest of the year.
I think those were both AFCS shows.
I think so, too. Attica Fremont Championship Series.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Bryan?
Yes, sir.
Bryan, it's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller. It's the Hammer Down Racing Report. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
We're doing great.
Want to start off by congratulating you for a clean sweep this past weekend, picking up the win Friday night at Attica, and then again Saturday at Fremont.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you didn't happen to win both heat races too, did you?
Oh gosh. Now you're testing my memory. I know I didn't win Saturday. I ran second to my teammate in our heat race. Did I win the heat race on Friday?
Well, it wasn't not a bad week.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. But no, it was a great weekend.
Now let's talk about those two wins. I was watching the win at Attica. You had a close call there at or toward the end of the race. A little bit of contact after Paul Weaver did a 360 right in front of you. Did that mess up your mind? Was the car hurt at all?
The car was definitely hurt. It didn't really mess with my mind. I mean, stuff like that happens. It was a pretty eventful last, 8 laps of that race or so. Paul, Jamie, and I got checked out pretty good, and we're just kind of strung out. We were all three running the top, and I was kind of pulling off the top earlier in the race, kind of rolling through the middle. I could roll the bottom. I could really go anywhere I wanted. Them guys seemed to be pretty committed to the top. So I was really wanting to get to lap traffic. So, because I knew I was good enough, I could move around.
So what was Paul Weaver doing on top of the track?
Well,
who was in the car, really?
I know. Steve Rando actually drove by all three of us and took the lead with, probably 8 or 10 laps to go. He was better than all three of us. Steve probably should have won that race. And he got to the lead, started driving away from all of us, and then just slipped it off the top of 1 and 2. Me and Paul got back by him, and then it was a lap car, went off the racetrack and came back on right across Paul's nose. And Paul got in the back of him, And I seen it kind of happening. I was close enough to Paul, or I was far enough behind Paul to kind of see what was happening, but I was still kind of right there. So when I seen that kid coming back on the racetrack, Paul kind of committed to what I thought was going to maybe try to go underneath of him. And so I'm like, all right, here's my chance. If I rip the top, clear them both, and I'm good. I knew we were down towards the end of the race. And so I sailed it into 3 there up on the top, and I was kind of watching them down below me, and I seen them get together. I seen Paul go around. I kind of checked up a little bit, and Paul kind of tried to keep it going and kind of come up across the racetrack in front of me there, and I hit him and kind of monster trucked him there a little bit. And the motor shut off. Oh. And as I was kind of going up over him, and I was, how the heck that thing fired back off, I have no idea. Pure luck, truthfully. I mean, it was a pure luck thing. It come down, and I felt the rear tires hit, and it sputtered a little bit, and I gave it a little throttle, and it kind of just sputtered and took off. And I actually thought I was going to go to the tail. So they waited. We rolled around there for, I don't know, a couple of laps under caution, and they didn't come across the radio and say anything. So I'm thinking, like, I was pissed. I'm like, man, this lap car, man, he freaking come across the racetrack and took, top 2 cars out. I was a little irritated, and probably a little too irritated for the situation, but it was just kind of caught in the heat of the moment. And, but yeah, they came across the radio, and, later talking to Dwayne Hancock, he said, next day I talked to Bliss guy, and he said that they actually pulled the rule book out and were trying to figure out what the decision was to follow the rules to see what happened. And being that Paul actually spun and brought the caution out, I never spun. I just kind of went up over top of Paul and kept going. Mm-hmm. That technically I don't go to the tail, so I get my spot back. But yeah, it smashed up the front wing, bent the front axle, which we had never actually found the bent front axle until Saturday at Fremont. But
before or after you won at Fremont?
Actually found it when we unloaded the car. We kind of have a unique way of doing things, but we never messed with it. We left it alone. We actually won with that bent front axle on Saturday.
Nice. Maybe you should just leave it then.
I think we're going to. I don't think we're taking it out. I think we're just leaving it in there.
Some kind of magic.
Yeah, we me and my guys, we try to have fun with this. We try to make it, ultimately it's a 305, and they don't take a whole lot of work. They don't take a whole lot of maintenance. You can just kind of, between myself and Guy Myers, we've been doing this long enough that we know what to keep an eye on, what needs maintenance and what doesn't need maintenance every race on a 305. So we, truthfully, we don't really work on the car a whole lot. We try to make it fun. We try to keep it fun. After we won Friday at Attica, we never saw the race car till we rolled it out of the trailer at Fremont on Saturday. And that's when we were changing the smashed up front wing on Saturday at the racetrack, when I noticed that the front axle was bent, and guys like, piss on it. Just leave it in there. We'll be fine. I'm like, all right, I don't care. Whatever.
So did it affect the handling, at least as far as the bent axle on Saturday night? Did it help it, or could you even tell?
I couldn't even tell. Okay. Now, Friday night, I think we had that, when all that happened was on lap, I had a 22, 23. We had 3 or 4 laps to go. Now, it did make I think it was mainly the front wing being smashed up. It was all I could do to keep that thing from shoving off the end of the racetrack. Luckily for me, the track had taken rubber about probably 2/3 of the way through the feature there at Attica. So I knew if I stayed in the rubber and kept it, somewhat throttled down, whoever was behind me was going to have a hard time getting by me.
Well, it worked, and you went on to pick up the win. Was the win Saturday night, at Fremont, was that a little easier? Or?
No win is easy. It doesn't matter what you're racing, go-kart, 305, 410, dirt truck. It doesn't matter. No win comes easy. And you never know when you're going to get your next one or if you're ever going to get another one. I mean, I won a couple races last year when I decided to kind of come out of retirement, so to speak. But, I mean, Saturday's win at Fremont was my first win at Fremont in 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I hadn't won a race I won an all-star race at Fremont back in 2013. And, that was the last race at Fremont that I had won. And I think I won a race at Attica that year too. That was in the Hammer car. And prior to last year, I hadn't won a race since 2013. So, and you know, I had a lot of ride hopping there through 2014 through 2017. I was probably in, I don't know, 10, 15 different race cars. So it's hard to, you know, it's hard to get in the groove, and unless you're, you know, Chris Bell or somebody like that can hop in the cars and win. But, you know, last year especially, but just Fremont too, it was bittersweet. It really meant a lot, to know that I can still do this and know that I can still win races. And I guess back to what you said there. No win is easy. Okay. My teammate was leading that race. He's been really good this year too. I think we've just kind of stumbled onto some stuff with these new tires that has fit my driving style and fit our program, and our car's been really freaking good lately.
So who are you driving for now?
So Kevin Schlachter is his name. He owns Steph Schneider's 305 car and has for quite some time. My wife and I talked. We went to the Jim Ford there in 23? So end of in 21, we went to the Jim Ford, and it was the first race I had been to in 3 or 4 years.
Was that difficult?
Like, to even watch. It was very difficult because as soon as I left there, I left and went and bought a motor. I hadn't been to a race in 3 or 4 years, and I can't watch. I can't go to watch. I still don't go to the races to watch, even now that I'm back racing, other than like Kings Royal, stuff like that. But we went to the Ford there 2 years ago. It was the 10-year anniversary from when I won the Jim Ford. So I was like, I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, we haven't been to a race since 2018, and I really would like to go and watch. And we went and sat in the stands. Didn't get pit passes. We sat in the stands, and I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I not out here? This is stupid. I see these guys doing this. Why is he doing that? I could be doing this. I could, you know. It's like, so we went home, and I'm like, you know what? Her and I talked, and it's like, you know, I knew at that time I didn't want to get back in a 410. 410 racing has just changed so much since I was doing it full time. And my boys are getting older. You know, my wife and I like to do things outside of racing. I have multiple businesses now that I'm running. Just don't have the time to commit to a 410 deal. So we came home, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we put a 305 together. We just run a pick and choose schedule, just have some fun. And she was all for it, and said, all right, well, what do we got to do? And I said, well, first things first, we got to find a motor, because them are hard to come by, reasonable anyway. And I ended up finding one from Bobby Distel, and picked up a motor, and was talking to Seth Schneider, he's been one of my best friends for 20 years. I don't know, more than that maybe. But he's like, hey, you know, Kevin, my car owner, which I know too, he's like, he's been talking about wanting to put a second car together. You should talk to him. I'm like, man, I really don't want a car owner. I don't want sponsors. Like, I just want to race when I feel like racing. I want to have fun with it. You know, I don't want the sponsor thing where they expect you to be there all the time. I don't want a points race. Just want to race whenever I feel like it. And he's like, well, just talk to Kevin. So I ended up talking to Kevin. He's like, man, I don't give a shit. You can race whenever you want. He's like, I'll buy you a car. I'll pay all the bills. You put a motor in it. He goes, you buy a motor, you buy a trailer. I'll pay for everything else. I'll pay for the tires and the fuel and the weekly everything. And he goes, I don't care if you run one race or 100 races. You can run whatever you want.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't really pass it up. So we put that deal together over last winter, 2 winters ago, whatever. And, we had a lot of fun last year. It's been one of my dreams to work with Guy Myers, who's been a winning and veteran crew chief in our area since the early 90s. He's been one of my really good friends. When I built my first sprint car, he came over and told me how stupid I was and how horrible I put the thing together, and helped me with my first race car, and has been a very, very dear, close friend of mine for going on almost 25 years now. So when we put this deal together, I knew he didn't have anything quite lined up, and he really wasn't working on anything. So I called him and I'm like, hey, putting the car together. I want you to come work on it. We've joked around for years. We've never gotten to work together. Let's do this together. He's like, I don't know. I don't want to be committed. I don't want to do this all the time. And I'm like, neither do I. I was like, we'll race when we want to race. If we want to go drink beer, we'll go drink beer. And he's like, all right, well, I'll give it a try. He said, I'll give you 10 races. That's all I'm committing to. And we ended up running like 15 some races last year. And he had so much fun after the first 2 races. He's like, man, this is awesome. And, like I was saying earlier, because we try to keep it fun. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen my car since we rolled it in the trailer on Saturday after Fremont. My car owner, luckily, Kevin, he washes it for us this year. But even last year, we'd roll it we always prep for car wash after the races. That's one thing we do. We stay after, we get the thing prep for car wash. And like last year, we'd prep it for car wash. We'd roll it in the trailer, and it wouldn't roll out of the trailer until the next race day. We'd roll it out of the trailer the next race day, whether it be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. We'd roll it out of the trailer, spray it off, clean the nozzles, clean the air filter, maybe grease the bars, and roll it back in the trailer and go race. And just, some people may shake their heads at that. I really don't care. That's the part of trying to keep the fun in it. We're not at the shop every night. We're not beating our head against the wall, not overthinking things. I haven't seen the car this week. I'm going to go out there Saturday morning before Fremont, and Kevin's got the car washed. We'll do all of our maintenance on Saturday, load the car up, go race Saturday, Fremont this weekend, and then we'll probably shove it in the trailer and roll it out at Wayne County on Sunday. And barring we don't have any problems, roll it out, and we're going to run Wayne County on Sunday.
Bryan, how did you get started in sprint car racing, or in racing in general?
Oh, it goes back a long time. Doug Berryman, BRS Racing Shocks around here. I went over to his house when I was 4 years old, and his dad just built his first go-kart, and I just became fascinated with it. He rode my bus, and I guess that was before kindergarten, but his neighbor was a church friend. His neighbor's parents were friends of my parents at church, and we were over at their house one day, and I still remember this, oddly enough, almost 40 years ago. We went down to Doug's, and I remember going in there, and I remember seeing his go-kart, and I thought how cool that was, and how I wanted to do that. And then, a year passes, and we start kindergarten. We ride the same school bus together, Doug and I. And, I remember bugging him, always asking him about his go-kart and stuff. And he didn't live too far away from me. We lived out in the country, and I would go over there occasionally and look at his go-kart, sit in it and stuff. And I was just fascinated by it. I wanted to race, and I begged my dad for years to get me a go-kart to start racing. And he would always tell me, like, I don't know anything about go-kart racing. Nobody in my family ever raced anything. My dad did like some drag racing and stuff, but never any circle track stuff. But usually like once a year, my dad would take me and my brother to Fremont and we would watch. And I was just fascinated. I loved dirt track racing. I just became infatuated with it, with sprint cars and go-karts and, talking to Doug all the time because we rode the bus together and we went all through school together. And then I finally got him talked into getting me a go-kart. Him and my mom got me a go-kart when I was 12, I think. I was right around 12 and started racing. I remember my first race I went to, I met Dustin Dinan, who still races to this day and has been one of my closest friends for, since my first go-kart race. Started racing go-karts when I was 12. It was always my dream to race sprint cars just from going there when I was a kid, and raced go-karts for about 4 or 5 years and sold all that, bought a dirt truck when Fremont first started the dirt trucks back in 99, 2000, something like that. Bought a dirt truck, ran a dirt truck for like a year and a half. And then I'd had enough. I think I was 17, 18. And I went to my dad and I'm like, Dad, I want a sprint car. I'm tired of pissing around with this dirt truck. I don't want to race go-karts. I want a sprint car. That's what I want to do. And he's like, we don't know anything about sprint car racing. We don't have the money to race sprint cars. And if you want to do it on your own. And, at the time I was really upset with them. Well, no, not at all. At the time I was really upset with them. Now looking back, I value and greatly appreciate the way that he made me start racing sprint cars. He said, if you want to do it on your own. We don't have the money to do it. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do then. And I was working for AJ Sleek's grandpa pumping out porta shitters. That's what I did for my job to buy my first sprint car. And I went to the bank and got a personal loan. I knew the loan officer. She was a scorer at Fremont, actually. And I went to school with her son. And I went in her office and I was like, hey, I want to get a loan and buy a motor and to buy a sprint car. And she's like, I can't give you a loan to buy a freaking sprint car motor. And I'm like, all right, well, how do I got to do this? And she's like, well, I can give you like a personal loan if you want. I'm 18 years old, no credit, and she's like, well, I can give you a personal loan, but I'm not going to ask you what it's for. And I'm like, all right, well, that's what I want. And Brandon Martin had a motor for sale, like $3,500. So I need a $3,500 loan so I can go personal loan so I can not go buy a sprint car motor with it. And, and she gave me a loan and one of my buddies co-signed for me that had a little bit of credit. And, Dustin Keegan gave me a roller. Dustin and his dad, Donnie Keegan, gave me a roller. And, that's how I put my first sprint car together, driving around pumping out porta shitters and a buddy that co-signed a loan for me to buy a motor.
That's pretty cool.
Did you have, that business that you worked for as a sponsor?
No, I didn't actually. I really didn't have a whole lot of sponsors back then. No,
missed opportunity right there.
Yeah,
you're right. I know. Yeah, but no, like I said, I was really upset with my dad at the time that he didn't help me get going. But looking back, I mean, I had junk. I mean, when I started racing, it was not good equipment at all. My chassis was almost as old as I was. But looking back, I appreciate what it took for me to get going. I wish more kids that get going nowadays, I think they would appreciate things more if they went about things the way that you had to back then.
Absolutely.
You appreciate things a lot more.
Yeah, you do. And I was fortunate enough there, even halfway through my first season, to get a ride actually in a 360 my first year. But it was a lot of fun. It was a bunch of us, me and a couple of my buddies. We had no idea what we were doing. That was the car that I put together. That guy came over and called me an idiot because I had no idea what I was. But no, that's kind of how I got started sprint car racing, and then just digging. we actually ran decent with that old car back then, and you could run decent with junk back then. I don't want to call it junk, just older equipment. You could run decent with older equipment back then, but it was hard. It was harder. There was a lot more.
Back then,
there was a lot more cars back then than what there is now.
Back then, the motor rules were a lot more restrictive.
They were, and it was a lot more affordable. Like I said, I bought that motor for $3,500 off Brandon, and I damn near won a race that year. I led most of it, and Scott Kralik passed me with a couple laps to go. It was like my 6th or 7th race ever in a sprint car. I damn near won one at Fremont. But now, I mean, you can't go buy a motor for $3,500 and be competitive now. I mean, they were all just a standard GM block back then, standard GM heads, old, Hillborn injection and whatever old beat up mag you had in that thing. I mean, I think when I bought that motor from Brandon, he told me it had 50 or 60 races on it, and I ran it for another a ton of races. I put a bunch of races on that thing. You can't do that anymore and be competitive.
Just broken in.
Yeah, exactly. It smoked a little bit when it fired up. But no, those were the good days. I missed those days. It was a lot of fun back then.
And you've gone on and you've run in all kinds of different sprints and series. You've run 410s, the 360s. You're what, the 2011 410 Fremont champion. So you got championships. You ran the Fast Series, SOD when it was around.
Yep.
I thought I saw you ran the Chili Bowl in 2013.
Yes, I ran that in 2013 with the help of a lot of people. Really made that possible. But drove for Davey Ray out there in 2013. That was a great experience. I haven't been back since, and I don't know why. Every year rolls around, I'm like, man, why didn't I go out to the Chili Bowl this year? But yeah, Chili Bowl was really cool. Midget was a lot of fun.
How well did you do? Which alphabet soup feature did you get to?
Oh gosh, I think I did the E, the D to the C.
Did
I make the C? It was close. I think maybe I did the F to the E to the D. That's what I did. I think I did the F to the E to the D, and I almost made the C because I almost made the night portion. I think I missed it by like 2 spots. Aww. But pretty decent. But I remember on my qualifying night out there, I drew dead last in my heat race in the first heat. And that's like the worst spot to start at the Chili Bowl. Every heat race is last in the first heat because the track's all juiced up. There ain't no passing. And I remember that's kind of screwed my whole week. I drew a horrible pill and was in the first heat race. But it was still a great experience. It was awesome. I think everybody should get to experience that at some point. Maybe it's not for everybody. I know it costs money just for, a no-namer, especially like me back then. I had to pay for that deal back then. But boy, was that a lot of fun.
Was that your only ride in a midget?
I ran Fort Wayne one year.
Oh boy.
It was my only ride in a dirt midget. I ran Fort Wayne one year, in a midget and run decent. We made the show, which was tough back then. They got a boatload of midgets. We made the show in a focus. It was a focused midget, and we made the show. Uh-huh. And run. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't even remember where the heck we finished at. It was mid-pack, maybe somewhere in there. We ran okay. Made it out of the heat race, and both nights made it out of the heat race and made the feature. But yeah, that was the only time I ever ran a midget. I'd love to do it again. I'd love to do it outdoors.
I was going to say, you've only run midgets indoors.
Yeah, I'd love to do it at Eldora. I'd love to get in the midget at Eldora. That would be really cool.
So, do you have a certain nickname?
Yeah, I do.
I want to see if it's the same one that I've been told what it is. What would that be, and how did you come about getting that nickname?
Flipper.
That's what that's what I got.
I got that nickname when I was 13, 14 years old, 13 or 14, in a go-kart. I was racing that Clyde Street race, and Dustin, as I mentioned before, Dustin Dinan was one of my really good friends. His dad is very, very influential in my racing career. He took, as I said, my dad didn't know a whole lot about racing, and Dustin's dad, Dick, really took me under his wing when I first started racing go-karts, to the point where he just took me racing. I was almost like a second son of his. Took me and Dustin racing for 3-4 years there. And I was racing a Clyde Street race, and I flipped, got upside down, broke my collarbone.
Oh, geez.
And they hauled me off to the hospital. And I don't know, maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks after that, we went over to Bradner. Bradner had a little pavement oval track over there. It was a couple weeks after I was still in an arm sling, and I took my arm sling off so I could race. I think if I remember right, I didn't tell my mom or my dad that I was racing that day. I told them I was just going with Dick and Dustin to watch, and Dick took my go-kart, and we I ended up racing that day. It was my first race back after Clyde when I broke my collarbone. We're racing at Bradner there, and a wreck happened in front of me, and I hit him and flipped over again, landing on my head.
Oh.
And I was, I was like telling the story because oddly, again, this is 37, I don't know, 25, 30 years. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, Craig Mintz, I was racing with Craig that day. I've raced with Craig since I started racing go-karts. Craig Mintz pulled my go-kart off me that day. And Craig was probably 11 or 12 years old back then. And my helmet was all skinned up and everything. And we're on our way home that day. And Dick, Dustin's dad, he's like, "Man, we're going to start calling you Flying Flipper." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Flying Flipper, because 2 races in a row now you've been upside down." And I'm like, "All right." So then it ended up, I remember I had a helmet back then, and I had a sticker made that went across my eye that said Flying Flipper on it. And then it just kind of got shortened to Flipper for the rest of my go-kart days. And then, it's no secret I've kind of kept on that reputation through my sprint car career, because I've been upside down and been upside down quite a few times.
What's more painful, being upside down in a sprint car or in those go-karts where you don't have a cage?
Go-kart.
Okay.
Yeah. easily a go-kart. And I've been hurt in a sprint car, but yeah, man, there's no cage. When you flip in them things, you land on your head.
Well, you said you're kind of picking and choosing your races. What's your rough plans for the rest of this season then with 305?
So we made a schedule at the beginning of the year with like 21 races on it, and we figured on 5-6 rainouts and trying to hit 15 races. That was kind of our schedule, kind of the same thing we did last year. So, I mean, we had obviously a bunch of rainouts there early this year with the weather. So I know we're running this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Fremont and Wayne County. And then we had a buddy's wedding next weekend. And then I think we're running one race there at the end of June. And then we're going to take a couple weeks off, take the 4th off. Wife and I are going to go out of town, I think, for the 4th of July. And taking my boys camping the weekend after that, and then going to the Royal the weekend after that. So we probably won't be back racing until third, 4th week of July. I don't know. We might have 8 races or so, maybe left, 8-10 races, maybe left on our schedule for the rest of the year. Like I said, it's just kind of picking and choosing. I only get my boys every other weekend, so I don't like to drag them to the track both nights. I like to try to spend time with them and do something outside of the racetrack with them when I have them. And, same thing with the wife when when I don't have my boys, it's, you know, I don't like to drag her to the racetrack every weekend either. She sells the shit out of t-shirts, but, you know, I like to be able to enjoy other things. You know, I think I was reading Joey Saldana when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame last weekend and the weekend before. He was saying something about, and I don't remember exactly how he put it, but it was something along the lines of, you know, racing made me realize that there's other things in life other than racing. And it couldn't be more true. Taking them handful of years off made me realize that, you know, there is other things to do outside of racing. And my family deserves to enjoy other things other than my passion and what I do. So that's why I enjoy my part-time schedule and doing what I'm doing. They ask all the time about getting back in a 410, and I'm like, I really don't have an ambition to get back in a 410. At least not at this point. I just, I'm enjoying doing other stuff too.
Bryan, do the boys have any thoughts of racing?
My oldest asks me all the time about racing, but he's also big into sports.
Sure.
He plays all the ball sports. You know, he's football, baseball, basketball. Yeah, I know he wants to race, but again, he's also so busy with sports stuff, and I just don't know. I don't want him to race go-karts, truthfully. Go-karts anymore it's not like it was when I was a kid. I don't think it's really teaching the younger generation anything. I truthfully think it's teaching them bad habits.
Yep.
Go-kart racing is nowadays. So I'm kind of been dragging my feet on it until he gets a little bit older and see how he shakes out with sports stuff. When he gets a little bit older, more towards sprint car age, we'll see how sports stuff is going and maybe make a decision at that point. But, and my youngest, no, I mean, he's 6, I don't know. He's a special little guy. He's not really showing any signs of wanting to do the racing stuff, at least not yet.
He's still young.
Yeah, he's still really young. But Braxton, my oldest, he's about to turn 13. So he's only a couple years away from, you know, being sprint car age.
Sure.
Trying to get him involved in the sprint car stuff. I take him to the races. He goes to the races. I think he enjoys running around and talking to people more than he does. You know, I've tried to get him to like work on the car and like help me in the shop. And he's, at this point anyway, I think he's, you know, more into the sports stuff than he is. I think his heart is more into the sports stuff anyway,
Sure.
than the racing stuff, which is fine. I just want him to, you know, support him no matter what, no matter what he wants to do. So we'll see as he gets older. If he shows signs of wanting to get in a sprint car, I'm not opposed to, you know, trying that with him. But at this point, not right now.
You're going to tell him he's got to do it on his own?
I'll make him work for it.
Okay.
That's for damn sure. I won't buy him everything. No. And you know, it's funny you say that. He talked about it this last winter, talked about wanting to get a go-kart and wanting to do this. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you start going to the shop with me and you show me that you want to do it and you actually put in the work and you prove to me that you actually want to do this, and you try to learn and everything, like I will start entertaining the idea. And I even told him, I'm like, if you want to work with me, come up and stay the summer with me. You want to work with me? I have a construction business. I said, you want to work with me and you earn money, I'll pay you. I'll pay you to work for me. You save your money. And if you save up enough money that you can buy a go-kart, we'll get a go-kart. I said, but I will not buy you a go-kart. If you work for me, earn enough, get a go-kart. And so, I mean, he just got out of school like last week. So we'll see what happens. But No, I will. I'll make him earn it. If he wants to race go-karts, he's going to work for me, and I'll pay him to work for me, but he's going to buy it on his own. Same thing with the sprint car. When he gets of age, if he gets a job, I'm not saying I wouldn't help him out, because I would, obviously. But I will not go out and buy him everything and just hand it to him and let him go race. Absolutely not. I guess that's my old school coming out in me a little bit. No, he won't be handed anything. He'll have to work for it.
I can relate.
Sounds fair. Bryan, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We got to get going here. I have one last question for you. Who's going to win Ohio Sprint Speed Week this year?
That's tough. Zeb has been really good in that 26 car. He'd be tough to bet against. Has Peck been back out since the crash?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about him since then.
If he comes back out, he's going to be good. He's really good around here.
Cap's been on a roll.
Oh my gosh! And speaking of that, his crew chief is my crew chief's son. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't an all-star regular, Cap would 1,000%. His confidence is through the roof right now, and you can see it in his driving. I called his win at Attica in hot laps. Guy and I were standing up in the booth watching hot laps at Attica, hot laps qualifying, whatever. And I said, he's going to win tonight. And he looked at me, guy looked at me and he's like, really? I'm like, you watch it. He's going to win tonight. Look at how he's driving that race car. Cap's confidence is through the freaking roof right now. And Zach has that car just so drivable, so close for him to do what he needs to do. If it's not an all-star regular, Cap's going to have an excellent speed week. I think Zeb or Peck would be probably my pick outside of a local, if you call Cap a local, I guess.
Okay. That sounds like some good choices.
Yeah.
Definitely good picks. And something you may not know, our guests usually go on to win their next race, so you'll probably make it 2 in a row at Fremont on Saturday. So congratulations ahead of time.
I hope so. Thank you.
Bryan, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on.
We appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. We'll see you.
Yep. Bye.
Bryan Sebetto.
Yeah.
Very, very well-spoken.
Good
gentleman.
interview, Scott. Yeah.
Look for him this weekend at Fremont Speedway on Saturday and Wayne County then on Sunday. So very cool. A reminder, time running out to get in on our giveaway here for the Hammer Down.
Hashtag Hammer Down.
Yes, hashtag. I saw someone put in, it has to be exactly like it's on the screen right now. The number sign or hashtag, and then Hammer Down. Actually, the capitalization I don't think matters, but no spaces. Hashtag Hammer Down. If you put that in already, you're already in the drawing. If you put it in any other variation, then you probably want to put that in the comments again. Just hashtag Hammer Down, all together, no spaces.
Right.
And we'll do that drawing here in just a couple.
Because the computer is smarter than we are.
Yes, the computer is the one that does the picking there. There's no human involved other than me clicking the button that makes it choose. Make sure to contact Freeze Frame Photos for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lane, custom magnets. I've seen some of those they had at the track. Pretty cool. They put basically any picture you want on a magnet there. Canned koozies, tumblers. I mean, they're great gifts for racers in your family, racing fans of particular drivers. They got the kids' nights going on at Oakshade where they have a whole bunch of sponsors, and the first 50 kids through the gate get a free 4x6 photo. Yeah. And they're always willing to wheel and deal. If you go there and you're looking to buy some photos from them, if you buy a little bit more than just one or two,
quantity discount.
They might work a deal with you. And not that $1 for a 4x6 is much. I don't think the price has changed since I was a wee one.
I think I remember 50 cents.
Was it? I don't remember. Well, you're a little older than me, though.
I've been
just a little bit, yeah. Freeze frame photos, special moments frozen in time. Call Charlie if you need a special photo session, 419-476-9978. You can also find them on Facebook. Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race, oakshaderaceway.com. Check their full schedule out there, or follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. This weekend, the full show of late models, sportsmen, dominator, super stocks, and compacts. And then next week's the first special show at Oakshade of the year, the 5,000 to win Barney Oldfield race for the late models.
Ooh, how much is admission to that one, Scott?
The same as it is every week. $14
Really?
For adults.
That's amazing.
Yeah, even the 10,000 to win race.
Yeah.
$14 for adults, kids free. Yeah, all the information's there on oakshaderaceway.com. And of course, Remler Race Cars in Lambertville, Michigan, 734-856-7223. Right now, probably focusing more on the parts.
On sales, but the crew is doing a great job on getting stuff done.
Okay, so you got the crew still working there.
Oh,
so, race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, broken Nerf bar replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how long it took me to pound the metal on the door was like folded
around it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to use pry bar to get that before I could even start hammering.
But you've got it pretty again?
Ish. It kind of looks like someone took a piece of paper and then tried to smooth it out.
Oh.
So it'll work. It's workable. We'll go with that.
7 rows up, it'll look perfect.
Probably. Oops, I disappeared. There I am. No, I'm huge. Okay. Moving along here, we got a little bit of racing news. Then we'll draw our winner. We'll also give away Big D's Pizza with how many and determine who our winner is for last week of Big D's Pizza from the how many Great Lakes traditional sprints were at Lima Land last week.
Right.
I know that number, and I will tell you it after we do the
latest racing news.
The Eldora Million format has been published, I guess we can say. The way things are going to work, 2 nights for the Eldora Million this year for sprint cars, first year for sprint cars. Wednesday night, July 12th, I believe that's the day after the Doty at Attica, as a matter of fact. Drivers will be split into 2 different groups, each running a full show of qualifying heats, B main, and 25-lap main events. Eldora's Speedway signature Every Lap Matters format will be in use on Wednesday night, and we'll set heat race lineups for Thursday's Eldora Million, night number 2. That's when they actually have the main event that pays $1 million. Actually, it's more than $1 million. So night number 2 will consist of 6 heat races, with the top 3 finishers transferring into that Eldora Million main event. 4th through 6th will go to the B main, and 7th on back to the C. For the B, the top 2 drivers in the Every Lap Matters points who did not advance to the A will start on the front row.
Of the B main?
Yes.
Okay.
I lost my place here. For the B top 2 drivers, start on the front row of the B main. The remainder of the field will be set by the heat results for the B main. Top 6 will transfer to the A. Heat winners will draw for starting positions 1 through 6.
All right, so you're at 24 cars so far.
24 cars, yeah, that's right. That's how many are going to start. And second place finishers of the heats will draw then for starting positions 7 through 12, and then, so on and so forth. Third place finishers will draw for 13th on whatever it is, and the A main will be 50 laps, and will pay $1,002,023 to win. Not bad.
Good payday.
And that's a Thursday night payoff, yeah. NASCAR's docked Eric Jones and Legacy Motor Club 60 points and 5 playoff points each. Suspended crew chief Dave Ellens for 2 races and fined him $75,000 for the L1 violation discovered this week at the R&D Center. The team was found to have modified the greenhouse. They were trying to grow plants.
Right.
No, the greenhouse, that's where the driver sits. Yeah. I'm not sure what the modification was, but something. It's always something. Every week it's some weird thing that's not approved. Oh, wait, we have some breaking news here. First part of this isn't quite breaking news, but earlier this week, Vermeer Motorsports and longtime driver Hunter Schuerenberg parted ways just before Ohio Sprint Speed Week.
Ooh.
Yeah, Schuerenberg has driven the number 55 for the last 3 seasons, currently ranks 3rd in All-Star points, and he's won 2 features this year, including 1 All-Star win. Just announced today, this is the breaking news part, Buddy Kofoid has been named to drive the Vermeer Motorsports number 55, starting tomorrow night at Attica Raceway Park.
Wow.
So maybe he's one to keep an eye on for Ohio Sprint Speed Week.
Yes.
And beyond. So that was some breaking news there. Ed Carpenter announced that the team and Connor Daly have mutually agreed to end their relationship. There's a lot of breaking up this week with race teams. The number 20 Chevrolet will continue as a full-time entry through the remaining NTT IndyCar Series season with Ryan Hunter Ray at the wheel. And then we mentioned this a little bit earlier. NASCAR Cup Series rookie driver of the number 42 Sunseeker Chevrolet, Noah Gragson, will not compete in Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Sonoma Raceway. GMS Racing and NASCAR Truck Series veteran Grant Enfinker will drive the number 42 this weekend. Last Sunday at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Gragson was involved in a crash on lap 197, was evaluated and released from the infield care center, but upon returning home to North Carolina, he began to experience concussion-like symptoms during the middle of this week and is currently seeking treatment. Ooh. So hopefully not another Kurt Busch situation, because that didn't play out very well.
No, not at all.
So, and then one other note, some more breaking news. This actually didn't even make it to my prep yet. It's still on my phone from our associate producer, Dave Kemmer. Yeah, here it is. So, yeah, this is some breaking news, too. Longhorn Chassis is pleased to announce an educational partnership agreement with the number 1 university in the world for high-performance automotive and diesel education. Sounds like a commercial for the University of Northwestern Ohio, UNOH. Of course, we've all heard of that. In an effort to support the growing need for quality fabricators, crew chiefs, mechanics, and specialists in the dirt racing industry, Longhorn Chassis will be offering $30,000 in annual scholarships beginning this fall to help assist full-time students with their financial needs while pursuing a motorsports career. As part of their technical strategy, Longhorn Chassis will be providing modern training aids and help UNOH instructors and students stay up to date with the advancement of technology in the late model and modified classes.
That's really cool.
That's pretty cool. I'm surprised Bryan Miller Race Cars hasn't jumped up on there.
Easy there, big fella.
Put a $50,000 scholarship.
Yeah.
It's chump change for you, right?
Sometimes.
All right, one final reminder here. As soon as we go through our Big D's Pizza Racing menu, we'll draw for that free window sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics. Hashtag hammer down in the comments. That'll get you entered into the drawing. That's all you got to do. Anytime. Before we actually do the drawing, which is coming up here shortly. Before that, though, let's do some pizza to give away. I think that sounds good.
How many?
So last week's how many Great Lakes traditional sprints would be at Limaland Friday night. The actual number was 15. And our guest in the studio last week, J.D. Niemeyer, was the closest. He picked 18.
Ooh.
So J.D. is technically the winner. You were second closest. Wait, no. I think you were second. I think I wrote that down wrong. Good thing I have last week's prep here where I actually wrote everything down. No, I was closest. Yeah, I did have it right.
So you've got.
I picked 20. You picked 21.
All right.
So I was closer than you. But JD, our studio winner, and our winner online, we had a tie.
Really?
So we're gonna have to spin the Big D's pizza wheel to determine who's going to win the Big D pizza this week. Only 2 names this time, so 50-50 chance going up for Brian Nelson and Matt Swander.
Ooh.
So here we go. Big D's pizza wheel is spinning, and if that was a pizza, those are some big slices. Matt Swander is going to win that.
That's it.
Big D's pizza this week. Congratulations to Matt. You have 30 days to claim your pizza. Now, this week, This week's how many number is not technically a how many, it's more of a number. What is going to be the number on the winning car of the Dirt Late Model Dream Saturday night at Eldora?
You got to go first.
Who could it be? I don't know. I'm going to go with 20. That is going to be my guess.
6.
Ron says 6. Okay. And if you'd like the chance to win a Big D's Pizza, go ahead and put your guess in the comments right now as far as the winning car number. I see Dean's going with Nick Hoffman there, the number 9.
What a surprise.
What a surprise. So, again, just put the number of the car that you think is going to win. And, again, whoever's closest, meaning numerically, say a 10 wins, Dean would be closest so far with the 9.
Right.
So that's how we're going to determine who's going to win that Big D's Pizza. You have until, we'll say, Saturday at noon. So Saturday noon Eastern to get your guess in for that winning car number to win a Big D's Pizza. And speaking of Big D's, it's time for that Big D's Pizza race.
This weekend's Big D's Pizza Racing menu.
Starting tonight, it is the Dirt Late Model Dream, night number 1. Twin features. Hot laps began at 6:30 tonight, and so we're gonna have to go check that out. They got racing going on for the Dirt Late Model Dream starting tonight.
On Flow,
at Eldora.
right?
I believe that is on Flow. Yeah. Tomorrow night, the action continues at Eldora with another night of twin features again. Gates open at noon. Hot laps at 6:30. General admission is $35 there at Eldora. Lima Land Motorsports Park in action as well Friday night for Ron Kale Memorial with the NRA Sprints, UMP Modifieds, and Thunder Stocks. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. $12 for general admission tickets there. And Attica Raceway Park, it's the Bert and Bridget Emmerich Classic / Ohio Sprint Speed Week / Ohio Laborers / Ohio Cat Night. It's the kickoff of Ohio Sprint Speed Week. That's the short version, featuring the Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprints. $6,000 to win tomorrow night at Attica Raceway Park. UMP late models, they'll be running for $2,000 to win.
Oh, all right.
Steve running Attica tomorrow night?
Probably not. I think he has to work.
Oh, it's funny how life gets in the way sometime. Gates open at 3 Friday night at Attica. Racing at 7:45. General admissions $25 there. Saturday night, you got quite a bit of choices here. We'll start things off with Flat Rock Speedway with the CNV Enterprises School Bus Figure 8, plus Outlaw Super Late Models, regular Figure 8s, boat Figure 8s, flagpole race. That will start at 7 o'clock. That's when racing starts. Gates will open at 5. General admission $20 there at Flat Rock on Saturday. Also Saturday, Oakshade Raceway. Late Model Sportsman, Dominator Super Stocks and Compacts. Gates open at 4. Racing at 7. General admission $14. Fremont Speedway, it's the Rick Ferkel Classic, night number 2 of Ohio Sprint Speed Week with the Tezos All-Star Circuit of Champions. 305 is also in action. Our guest earlier tonight, Bryan Sebetto, will be in action as well at Fremont. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $25.
Did I see that the USAC D2 midgets are there? Or not?
I don't think so.
Maybe that's next
I did
week.
not have that.
Okay.
Sandusky Speedway, free admission. Sandusky
I saw
Speedway.
that.
Yeah, they're doing.
That's insane.
They've been getting some great sponsor support there.
Right.
Odin's Paradise is presenting the action, the free admission this Saturday night at Sandusky Speedway. I mean, so if you're bored on Saturday and need something to do, go to Sandusky Speedway. It ain't going to cost you anything other than gas to get there, I guess, unless you live around the corner, which could happen.
You might buy a hot dog.
Might, yeah.
You can afford to.
Pure Stocks, Renegades, Beginner Stocks, and All-American Iron. So 4 classes in action at Sandusky Speedway. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission is free. What, I have $25 there. It's free. Never mind.
Free.
It's free at Sandusky. Waynesfield Raceway Park back in action. It's the Battle at the Field featuring the NRA 360 Sprints. I saw Harley White's coming back into town to run Lima Land on a Friday and Waynesfield Saturday night. In the NRA 360s. UMP Modifieds also in action. Dirt stock cars and the dirt track trucks also in action. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30 at Waynesfield. $15 for general admission. Butler in action. Butler Motor Speedway. It's autograph night with the 410 Sprints, UMP Modified Street Stocks, 4 cylinders. Gates open at 4:30, racing 7:30, general admission $15. And Eldora Speedway, the Dirt Late Model Dream, the main event, the heats, the B mains, and then, of course, the 100-lap feature paying $129,000 to win Saturday night. Gates open at noon, hot laps at 6:30, general admission $45 for that show there. And again, tonight's how many is the winning car number of that race.
Right.
So get your guess in if you haven't yet. If you can only guess once. Other series action this weekend, the Dirt Car Summer Nationals gets kicked off actually next week on Wednesday, June 14th at Peoria Speedway in Illinois, and then Kankakee County Speedway, also in Illinois, on Thursday, June 15th. So we'll cover the Summer National results. Tesla's All-Star Circuit of Champions. Of course, it's Ohio Sprint Speed Week. Attica Friday, Fremont on Saturday, Wayne County on Sunday and Monday, as a matter of fact. Sharon Speedway in Hartford, Ohio on Tuesday. Then it's Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe on Thursday, June 15th. And then we'll report the rest next Thursday on the show. So there you go. World of Outlaw NASA Energy Drink Sprint Car Series in action at Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa, Friday night and Saturday night. That's tomorrow and Saturday, June 9th and 10th. The Xfinity Series will be in action, NASCAR Xfinity Series at Sonoma Raceway on Saturday, June 10th. That'll be a night race, 8 o'clock on FS1. They have lights out there? Well, I guess it's apparently 3 hours behind, so that'd be like 6 o'clock their time. So they probably don't need the lights. It's the DoorDash 250 at Sonoma Raceway. And then Cup Series action at Sonoma as well on Sunday, the Toyota Save Mart 350. That will begin at 3:30 p.m. on Fox on Sunday afternoon. And now it's time for that weekend weather pit stop forecast. It'll be a quick one.
Yeah. Actually, the weather is changing a little. There's some remote chances of rain Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think we're going to end our never-ending streak of sunny and 80 degrees. And I've been looking,
but not till Sunday. So really all that will affect is probably Wayne County and maybe Ohio Sprint Speed Week action.
Yep.
But they got pretty creative a few years ago where they would, one track would have rain and another track in Ohio wouldn't. They'd switch dates, Yeah.
No, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a killer for any of those, but I know there's some lawns that really need it.
Yeah, mine. Definitely. So, but everything else, we should be good. It should be comfortable. Late spring.
Yeah.
Typical weather and dry, which has caused some issues at every track, dirt track locally.
Right.
With trying to keep the dust down. There's just, the air's so dry and it's like the...
And there's been Arizona. A breeze.
Yeah.
So it's...
And the sun's been out. Well, it's been a red sun with the smoke in the sky from Canada. But anyway, last call then for hashtag Hammerdown. We're going to give away those tickets now. Or tickets. Stickers. Hammerdown Racing Report sticker. One sticker. Put this on the window of your car. Whatever you want to do. Put it on your race car if you got a race car. Put it on the window of your house. Wherever you want to put it. It's yours courtesy of DCR Graphics. Hashtag Hammerdown race. I'm sorry, Hammerdown. Hashtag Hammerdown.
Hammerdown.
That's it. So we'll give you about 10 seconds to get that in if you have not done so already. Let's see how many we got here. That's the wrong one. That's the wheel of names. We can close that. So we got just a few. Got a few in there. So your chances of winning are pretty good. And you will have to pick this up from Ron Miller Race Cars in Temperance, Michigan. And you will have 30 days to pick it up. So,
which is a bit of a challenge right now.
Is it?
Every road around there is under
right.
construction.
Well, if you're coming from Ohio, just go around the blockades because you can still get to Ron's.
Use your GPS. It'll show you.
Will it?
Oh, yeah.
Will it show the closed roads?
Yep.
Okay. I did not know that. So here we go. Let's do that giveaway. Let's go right here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And there's your hashtag Hammerdown. Here we go. We're going to draw for the winner for a window sticker, Hammerdown Racing Report window sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics. Who's it going to be? Really?
Seriously?
Well, John Young, congratulations. He actually bought a few of them from DCR. So now you got another one for free. So congratulations. Again, thanks to DCR Graphics. If you didn't win this week, don't worry.
We're going to do it again next week.
We got another one here. Wait, you can't see. Now you can see that there's two. I got another one we'll give away next week on the show. So, and if you won this week, you're not eligible next week. So, John, you can't enter the win next week. New rule. I just made that.
Yeah, maybe a heads up to John Young. If he sees one on the back window of a silver Chevy Impala, he'll know where his sticker is.
What are you saying? You're going to usurp his sticker? There you go. That's for you to take back to your shop for him to pick it up.
Got it.
Perfect. So, yeah, that's about it for this edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Thanks to associate producer Dave Kemmer and contributors John Young and Bob Stazak. I heard from Bob for the first time in a few months, so it was nice talking to him, yeah. Apparently he's been sending me email and it's just been getting blocked. So he called me last Friday and was like,
why aren't you using any of my stuff?
Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check us out at hammerdownracingreport.com. You can listen to us on there, too. All kinds of options. Make sure to rate and review us as well. Share us with your friends. I should mention that at the beginning. But you can share this still, this broadcast.
Right.
Facebook, you can share that, yeah. Even
pops up anywhere, anytime.
Thanks to our sponsors, DCR Graphics, Big D's Pizza, Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon. You want to be a sponsor? Check out hammerdownracereport.com. More information on there. And no hotline this week, Dean. Nobody called us. We'll throw out the number just in case anybody wants to call us. About ready to shut down the Hammer Down hotline. It's
419-318-3081.
Are you sure? I can't see it. There it is. 419-318-3081. 419-318-3081.
There's an echo in the studio, Scott.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, of course.
My headphones aren't working. I can't. I got nothing. So now I gotta get that off there. So again, you can call us on the Hammer Down hotline too if you're interested in being a sponsor. I won't play that back, probably, most likely. Thanks again to Bryan Sebetto, this week's guest. Very
good interview.
Good talking with him. Next week on the show, we will. I don't know.
And Bryan gave us some insight on having fun in racing.
Yeah, don't work on your car.
That's it.
That would be more fun.
I did notice that they washed the car, so.
That's good. I don't do that. I know you're well aware of that.
I am.
I did wash it when I brought it back from your place. I did, since I had all the panels off, I did wash it. I power washed it a little bit. You can tell what color it is now, the chassis, yeah.
All right.
It's kind of black and orange, and it's got a lot of different paint.
Did you paint the crash bar, the new crash bar?
I should have, but no, I didn't get that wet, though, either.
Oh, okay.
But anyway. So we'll see you back here next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Get out, support your local track this weekend. Everybody should be good as long as you're Friday and Saturday.
That's it.
As far as the weather. And we're out. We're going to go watch some Eldora racing, I think, now.
Look forward to seeing you at a Circle of Dirt somewhere, folks.
There you go. And don't forget to contact DCR Graphics. $5 if you want to get one of these Hammer Down Racing Report stickers. And he'll mail them to you.
Yeah.
Just Facebook.com/DCR Graphics. All right, now we're leaving. Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.